Hello trainers, we are back this week and we are taking a look at Arbok. I am on a London rooftop, so please do mind any of the city sounds. As you can see behind Arbok, there is some construction going on. Lots of cranes, lots of going-ons around the city, so just do mind some of those sounds. But before we start, if you like these kinds of videos, please drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when new videos are up. I am planning on releasing a video every 1 to 2 weeks, just depending on what's going on and what time I have. So if you show your support, that definitely keeps fueling me continuing making these videos. But let's go ahead and get started with Arbok. As you can see, this is a big cobra-like Pokemon. It's a little bit intimidating, I would say. As I shared last time with Ekans, I'm not a huge fan of snakes, so this kind of just multiplies Ekans into a steroid kind of snake, and I'm having a nightmare or two about this. But let's go ahead and start describing this Pokemon. Just like with Ekans, their bodies are mostly covered in this purple. It is a light purple, and you do have this face around its neck that is kind of like a scary face. And just a quick mention, there are a few different patterns depending on the region that you're looking at, where you can have an Arbok from the Kanto region or the Johto region or the Sinnoh region that have different patterns, and we'll cover that a bit at the back end of this video. But just looking at this one, you can see starting at the top there is an arrow pointing down with 2 red dots around the tip of the arrow, and that goes right under its neck. And I guess that can be seen also as the eyebrows of the face. If you're looking at this as a face, you have the eyes, which are kind of menacing, because so you have the black surrounding the eye, and then a shade of red, and then I guess inverted hearts that are yellow, and then the face, which is smiling, the mouth of the face, which is kind of smiling. So if you kind of take Arbok's face out of that face right there, that's kind of like laughing at you trainers, or intimidating. I can see this as being kind of intimidating because you are being preyed upon by this Pokemon, and which face do you look at? So it's kind of scary. You also have its tongue that comes out. Its tongue that is very pointy, and again, just another method of intimidation. Let's see, get a growl from Arbok, and you can see very sharp teeth, 4 on the top and quite a few at the bottom. I'm not counting right now because I don't want to get a bite out of Arbok. But you also have its nostrils and its eyes on each side of its head. You have just a very normal eye, black pupils, and the neck of this Pokemon is very like a cobra. It expands, and so you can see the lines on each side to kind of highlight that face, and then rings around the body. So it's cut rings all the way to the back. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 rings. So just going to the back of Arbok, and you can see that body continue to move, and it's just kind of it does give me a bit of the heebie-jeebies. But the back of Arbok's head is also something that can be different depending on the region where you find this Pokemon. It can be different in Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and so on and so forth. I will go into what some of this looks like towards the back end. But let's just get a growl from back here. You can see what that looks like, but there's not much going on towards the back, and you can see that the body, including the underbelly, is that same purple. So that's not different like it is with Ekans's case. And I think this is a very interesting. There are no differences between male and female of Arbok. No differences visibly. The main difference is, like I said, the patterns of the face around its neck. But we will be taking a look at the shiny form of this Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get another growl. And we'll now go into the shiny form of this Pokemon. Okay, trainers, we are back with the shiny form of Arbok. And as you can see, most of its body is covered in an olive green. I would say an olive green, but I don't know. It's definitely a weird color. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. It's a little bit odd. It could have just gone full gold, but you do have a few differences with the face around the neck. So just to get a little bit close, you can see that the black remains the same, but like on the arrow, the two dots at the tip of the point are a purple, a dark purple, and around the eyes of this second face, you have the black, and then the dark purple, and then the I would say yellow inverted hearts on each side. Let's taking a look at the face. I think the face remains mostly the same. The teeth actually look kind of yellow. So I don't know, Arbok, you're not like washing your teeth or what you're doing, but your shiny form has yellow teeth. But aside from that, I think most everything remains the same with the shiny form of Arbok. You have the full body. Let's just go around. Let's actually get a growl from this end. You can see the body extend. And let's go ahead and give Arbok some treats for being such a good model for us and being patient. And then we can go into the final part of this video, which is the background. All right, so we have Arbok here, and you can see Arbok's face is kind of curious. What are we doing? Arbok is following us around. And actually, let's give Arbok a small pet for being such a good sport, and maybe we'll get a heart. Happy Arbok giving us a heart. And let's see how Arbok likes some of these berries. So this is a peanut berry, and let's see if Arbok will follow us around for it. And as you can tell, Arbok is following us around, so we better give Arbok their berry. So let's go ahead. Arbok here, thanks for being such a good sport. And so let's give Arbok a nanab berry now. Chomp chomp. Now let's give Arbok a raspberry for being such a good sport today. And here you go. We won't tease you anymore. So happy Arbok. And for now, I think we'll just call Arbok back and we'll go into the background on this Pokemon. Okay, Arbok, come back.
The official Pokédex entry for Arbok reads as follows. Arbok. This Pokemon has a terrifically strong, constricting power. It can even flatten steel oil drums. Once Arbok wraps its body around its foe, escaping its crunching embrace is impossible. It is rumored that the ferocious warning markings on its belly differ from area to area. The frightening patterns have been studied. Initially, 6 variations had been confirmed. The latest research has determined that there are over 20 possible arrangements of the patterns on its stomach. If it encounters an enemy, it raises its head, intimidating the opponent with the frightening pattern on its body. Transfixed prey, frozen in fear, is then poisoned and quickly wrapped up in Arbok's body while it waits for them to stop moving. Weak foes will flee just at the sight of the pattern. To intimidate foes, it also spreads its chest wide and makes eerie sounds by expelling air from its mouth. With a very vengeful nature, Arbok won't give up the chase, no matter how far, once it targets its prey. Trainers, we will now review Arbok in more detail and delve deeper into its background. Arbok show no visible differences between male and female. Originally from the Kanto region, they can be found in savannas, grasslands, and plains. Arbok tend to be more solitary, though they will protect Ekans colonies until they can fend for themselves. In Pokemon Go, they do not nest but can be found in the wild in rare occasions. Arbok does enjoy cloudy weather, so pay close attention in those times as they are more likely to appear in that kind of weather. If you run into an Ekans group, there are likely to be Arbok around, ready to protect them if needed. While there are no differences visually between male and female, Arbok does have a number of variations of its face-like hood markings that differ between regions. Initially, 6 were confirmed, but as research has continued, it has been determined there are over 20 variations observed. The most common pattern has red, teardrop-shaped eyes outlined in black with yellow, elongated hearts inside a black mouth, and a black arrow over the eyes with 2 red dots near the tip and an upward extending tail. This is the only pattern currently found in Pokemon Go. Called the main regenerative pattern, other confirmed patterns are the main circular pattern, the secondary circular pattern, the pattern from Pokemon Ranger, the invulnerability pattern, the attack pattern, the speed pattern, and the dark Arbok pattern. These are only some named patterns, and as more research is done, we will hopefully get more insight to other patterns and the new abilities they grant Arbok. In the wild, Arbok hunts smaller Pokemon and is known to also prey on Pidgey and Spearow eggs. There are several hunting methods used by Arbok, such as using the pattern on its hood to immobilize prey and constrict or poison them to finish them off. Some Arbok that can use the move Glare can paralyze their opponents and be even more dangerous. These older, more experienced Arbok can even go after larger Pokemon such as Tauros. In a trainer's care, they can still be self-sufficient in finding their own food, but do enjoy berries and Pokemon breeder prepared meals too. Arbok can be dangerous because of their powerful constriction abilities. Unlike Ekans, Arbok can control if and how much poison they will use on prey. Even without poison, their bite is extremely powerful and should be avoided at all costs. Arbok is also able to distend its mouth when consuming larger prey. As they grow older, Arbok grow larger and stronger. If trainers run into an older Arbok in the wild, great caution is recommended as these encounters can be dangerous. They are also quite fast and adept swimmers, so there is potential to receive much help from Arbok if they are included in your team. Arbok are territorial. They dislike humans in their territory and will act aggressively towards them if given reason to. If they sense danger, they are very likely to stay and fight. Arbok can be very sweet towards their trainer and very loyal and protective. Trainers should note that even if they are sweet towards you, that could not be the case towards others. So make sure to keep an eye on your Arbok, especially amongst others that Arbok has not been around before. It is recommended that trainers always have a Pokeflute with them, as these have the power to calm Arbok. Even when constricting prey, they will loosen their grip upon hearing Pokeflute sounds. Arbok does have a range of emotions and is not always necessarily closed off, dangerous, or on the attack. One sweet story I came across in research featured an Arbok that got a crush on a Wigglytuff. With the help of trainer Hazel and its Pokemon friends, Arbok built a Wigglytuff statue made out of roses, therefore achieving a first date and pursuing their crush in a sweet way. Since Wigglytuff already owned so much, Arbok chose the sentimental presents to give, and it worked. Wigglytuff even asks for Arbok's skin next time he molts. This makes Arbok overjoyed. There is also something to be said for the great relationships that Arbok can build with other Pokemon. They can also get very emotional, especially when forced to say goodbye to their trainers in order to become protectors of vulnerable Ekans. The name Arbok is Cobra spelled backwards, with a K replacing the C. In Japanese, the name remains the same, but relates to its pre-evolution's Japanese name, Arbo. Arbok shares similarities with the Indian cobra. Both Arbok and Ekans have connections to the legendary basilisk, especially those who know the attack Glare. The basilisk was said to be a poisonous serpentine dragon that would kill people with its stare, which may explain Arbok's place in the Dragon Ek group. My initial thoughts on Arbok were a bit mixed. First and foremost, I am not a huge fan of snakes, so this giant snake is not something I wanted to embrace anytime soon. But on the other hand, beside the fact that Arbok is a strong contender, their silly villain side took over and made me like Arbok very much. Their friendship with coughing and wheezing all the way from the Ekans stage made me a fan, and their love for their trainer and willingness to evolve in order to please them made me admire them even more. The confession from the Ekans stage that Pokemon are not bad, it's the trainer they have that can be bad carried on with Arbok. Anything bad trainer Jesse from Team Rocket made Arbok do really didn't cross the line too much to unforgivable territory. I found it very interesting to learn about the different patterns that Arbok can have, depending on the different regions. I only knew of one, and to be honest, even if I had seen the others in the past, they were quite subtle, and I never paid that close attention to them before. The fact that each pattern can give Arbok different abilities could make the potential of having a full Arbok team possible, since each could have qualities that could lead you to victory. I am very excited to see more of these patterns explored and researched as they are discovered. Arbok is a strong Pokemon that can take on many challenges on their own and with a trainer. Some of these responsibilities, like caring for vulnerable Ekans, can be a hard decision, but only a Pokemon as strong as Arbok, both physically and emotionally, can take on such a task. I do love the shiny form of this Pokemon. The fierceness reminds me a bit of Nagini, but I think a shadow-corrupted Arbok would share a bit more of the irredeemable qualities of Nagini. Arbok is definitely not a Pokemon to underestimate, by no means. And thorough as I want to be with my research, I kind of like that Arbok still has a lot of mystery left, and it's exciting to think about returning to this Pokemon family in the future to see what new things we can all learn. Okay, trainers, if I missed anything or if you have any thoughts on Arbok, please add them on the comment section below. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when a new video is up. I plan to release one every week to 2 weeks, with the goal of completing every Pokemon in every generation currently released. I know I was out for a few weeks recently, but there are many social justice initiatives that required and still require our attention, and I wanted not to get in the way of that as much as possible. Please follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. The handle is @LondonInstinct for updates, posts, and stories. I am having fun featuring art submissions from trainers around the world, so feel free to submit yours too. Stay safe out there and see you next week, trainers. Bye.